Hey Ren, how's it going? So happy to see you here.
Finally, we get to talk.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think that we've corresponded for so many years and we've never actually got to engage, pretend in person. So privileged to
Yeah.
have you here today. And if you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, my name is Rene, and I live in San Francisco, and I am just a amateur mover and starting my barefoot journey about 2019. I have a story about that, and I'm just trying to. I'm 44 and trying to show people that age is a number, and people over 40 are not over the hill. So that's what I do.
I like that you call yourself an amateur mover because
Yeah,
I
I
would like to
am.
classify you as a fairly advanced mover, but we'll give you that humility points. Anyways, Ren, so a topic I want to discuss with you is from my following your journey and kind of corresponding with you over the years is that you started by building a very solid base of body weight strength, like really mastering the art of moving the body. Obviously that's a very broad spectrum of terms, but hanging, handstands, back bends, pancakes, pistols, dragons, kind of really maximizing what the body can do. And I have noticed that I think many years ago and now recently in your movement classes, you're also doing heavy resistance training as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, so my background is I was a volleyball player. I played in college, the club level. So it's all I started with Olympic start weights, and I was a typical gym rat, just lifting just to get big. But we did a lot of plyometrics in volleyball. And then so I was just after college, I just started lifting just to get big, chest, squats, shoulders. But then in 2017, I remember August 15th, 2017, I fell off a ladder at work and it actually broke my wrist. And for someone who's lifting, breaking your wrist is pretty detrimental because you can't lift anything. And the doctor said, you can't put any weight on it for 3 months while it healed. And I remember in the hospital bed, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? I had two paths at the hospital bed. Either I could, be depressed and just be negative and think about, what if, or I could do the other path where if I, no matter how much I complain, the broken wrist will not heal. So what do I do? My legs were spared, and I always remember I always wanted better legs, but since I was lifting, I always wanted the beach muscles, chest, upper body, and this way, I think the universe was tired of me complaining about me wanting better legs. So I think they broke my wrists, and they're like, "Now we're going to do." So I literally decided for 3 months just not worry about my upper body, just forget about it, and just focus on my legs. And luckily, I learned the pistol squat right before I got injured. Okay, so what can I do with that? So then the pistol squat, what else can I do with body weight? Then I learned the shrimp squat, and they kind of went from there. And then, oh shit, there's so much more you can do with your legs. And then I started working my flexibility. I started learning the pancakes, and I started learning about balancing because I remember my shoes were like this when I started doing balancing, and that's how I got into my barefoot movement. Because I realized that when I'm barefoot, you have more stability. And then down the rabbit hole I went. And then it just kind of took off, then the dragon squat, pistols, like, the shrimp squat. So it kind of took off from there. So it was from that moment, August 15th, 2017, where my life changed and my entire fitness journey changed from that moment.
So training, wow. So that's really a motivating start for those training through injury. I think a lot of, especially gym rats. So it turns into this cycle of, I'm injured, I can't do anything. You took it the other way and said, I'm injured. What can I do? Not just
Yeah,
physically, but also mentally, just to stay emotionally healthy,
no,
keeping that movement
injuries,
practice.
injuries suck. I know they suck so bad, but I realized from then that it's a good opportunity to focus on other things that you normally won't focus on. So it's a look like it's
Absolutely.
a mind,
Absolutely.
mind,
So
you know?
since you transitioned to like more of like a body weight and let's say end range flexibility program, you did bring back in the I wouldn't say the chest and bicep splits, but you are lifting heavy again. So what changed in these past few months or year that you transitioned back to the gym after working for so many years on your body weight?
Yeah, so then COVID hit. So that's when COVID hit and the lockdown hit in 2020, my gym closed. So of
Mm,
course, that's how I started my Instagram thing is I just started posting videos of body weight movement at my home. And then I think this past last year, I decided to join a gym again, and I just decided to join the movement practice again. And that's when the movement practice I joined, Bay Area movement practice, helped me get back into the weightlifting stuff, and that's how I started from there.
so do you feel because you spent the last, 2 years really mastering your body weight, do you feel significantly stronger when you approach the bar, when you're deadlifting, when you're squatting, whatever it may be?
I think so because now I have a good solid base. I have more body awareness of my body, and now with the moving group, I have a coach, and people watch me, and now I have. So the last 3 years at home, I was just doing it by myself. I was self-taught. I was watching people on YouTube and Instagram. I was doing things myself, but no one was really watching me. But
Mm,
now with class, every Monday we lift at the gym, and there's a teacher showing me technique. The classmates watch me. We watch each other. So now I have a better, solid base, and I'm progressing a lot more now. And they got me on the rings. I'm doing ring stuff
man.
now, and so I think now with the moving group, I'm progressing a lot more since I have a community and a teacher now.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I would say every coach needs a coach. I think that having a set of eyes, regardless of your skill or ability, is one of the best things you can do. Just seeing your form, it's easy to get stuck in that rut of incorrect technique.
Yeah.
What I really want to dive into today, and I felt you were the right candidate for this, is that as a coach, I'm sure I train athletes, at the high level, like your volleyball days. So I get people who come and say, I don't want to weightlift. That gives me fake muscle. Or I don't want to do calisthenics because I won't get strong that way. All sorts of like myths that are just simply incorrect and a misunderstanding of the human body. So, because you've both spent years dedicated to the craft of mastering the human body and you have a background in weightlifting and athletic performance with your volleyball, what would your answer be to these people, either explaining to them how the body fundamentally works? The question being, weightlifting is going to build you fake muscle. That would be question number one.
Well, it depends. I feel that when I was lifting, I was very stiff.
Mm.
Um, but I think luckily from volleyball, my and I didn't lift in high school, but during my freshman year in college, we started doing Olympic side weights like cleans and jerks,
Mm-hmm.
and that really made me realize my body more. And I think you need both a combination, and also the flexibility plus the weightlifting and mobility will build your better body. I don't think you can last
Mm-hmm.
too long just lifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. But I think you need a combination of both. Just I think that's not the question. I don't know.
Yeah, no, so you're saying to this gym guy, or you need to add mobility training and range of motion
I
work on
think,
top of the weightlifting. Yeah.
and I'm 44. I'm gonna turn 45 in August. I'm moving better than I was in my 20s. I was bigger before, but I'm moving better now, and I think my joints are better. I'm not. I used to get injured a lot. I used to like throw out my back twice a year, just lifting. But now I have no back injuries. I have no joint pain. I have no pain anywhere in my body, and I'm moving better than ever before. So I think it's a combination of strength training, mobility, flexibility. All that is better for the body, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you said a very powerful quote right now. I was bigger before, but I'm moving better now. I think that's
Yeah.
just a quote we have to imprint onto these thousands of people who are maybe stuck a little bit in the bodybuilding world and focusing more on, gains, bro, than performance
Yeah.
and feeling good
Which I
and moving.
was.
Right.
I was before the accident. And literally before the accident, I was just lifting just to get big. But that accident changed everything, everything. And also because, I was injured, I was more susceptible to these other ways to move. If I wasn't injured, someone told me to focus on my flexibility and mobility. I've been like, I'm good. But since I was injured, I was more open to other areas, and I was so glad that that happened to me.
And what would you say to, I feel that calisthenics or bodyweight training does have its limitations and plateaus. Obviously, if someone's stuck in a prison cell, there's a lot they can do. In fact, there's this great author. He has a book called Convict Conditioning. Have you ever heard of it? He basically makes up this tale as he's a convict in a prison cell. Like, it's clearly fabricated, but he doesn't have anything, and he teaches you how to go from zero to like one-armed handstands and zero squat ability to pistol squats, kind of like mastering all these fundamental movements. And the truth to it is that there's a lot of, and you see it on your Instagram and your social as well, how capable the body can be. And even when you think you hit like the dragon, ass to grass, so to speak, there's still more you can do. But do you think that training calisthenics alone or bodyweight only has limitations? Like, at a certain point, do you feel you would want to add some external load into that?
I think so, because during the whole 3 years of the lockdown, I was just doing calisthenics in my house, just only body weight. And literally last year, I thought there's so much I could do at my house. And I'm so grateful that I was at a park and I saw this movement class happening. I was like, oh, they're doing cool stuff. And I asked to join. And then they started introducing weight stuff. I think the combination, I was literally hitting plateau all of 2021. But ever since I joined the movement group, we're doing lifting, we're doing resistance, we're doing also calisthenics, ring work, bars. The last half a year, I've progressed so much more and my body's changing. I'm moving better. I'm getting stronger. I didn't think I'll be doing this at 44, 45 years old, but I'm literally progressing. My body's changing. I'm feeling great. So I think it's a combination of both. But I do feel like calisthenics, you can hit a plateau, which I was.
I mean, you can also hit a plateau in weightlifting, but I think the divide is that many calisthenics-based movements are the art of mastering a movement. So it could be simple things like a pull-up, a dip, or a pistol squat. It could be advanced things like a handstand or a dragon squat. But the reality is, if you can do a full dragon squat, it's saying something about your body's ability, end range strength, and end range mobility. So that, like, a quote I like is strong is strong. If someone can do a full controlled dragon squat, that says something about their ability. If someone can pop 100 kilo, or thinking pounds, if someone can pop 220 on the bar for a squat, there's so many different ways to cheat it. They can do a half squat, they can collapse down, they can bend their spine. And just because they can squat this 220 pounds, it doesn't mean that carries over to their functional strength unless it's with decent enough form and done in a controlled manner. Whereas if you're doing a pistol or a dragon, that just gives me raw data about you. So when I was on my dragon journey and I was doing it consistently until I got, I was using a slant board to cheat my way down. So until I got my hip to the slant board, I still didn't get to the floor. When I was hiking, which I do regularly, one day, God willing, with you and your folks, I felt such a strong carryover to my hiking. And keep in mind, similar to you, I've been in the gym for years. I've been athletic training for years. I've been working on the art of mastering the body for years. And I felt such a difference in hiking just from doing dragon squats in like that end range mobility, because that's something I never explored. Because mastering a barbell squat is very different from mastering that movement pattern of dragon squatting. And it's just like
and I think if you do things on 2 legs, I heard that it can mask your inefficiencies. I don't know, like unless you do something with one leg,
the weaknesses,
really, the weaknesses. So I feel like everyone should learn the pistol squat. I'm so glad I learned it.
Absolutely.
It teaches you so much about yourself, and it unlocks so many other moves. Like after learning the pistol squat, the shrimp squat, figure 4 squat, dragon squat after that, and it really strengthened my knees, my joints. It helped my ankle dorsiflexion so much. You can load it. So my biggest suggestion, advice for anybody is learn the pistol squat. It is not called the mother of single leg squats for nothing. It teaches you so much body, patience, and it strengthens everything. Like the term bulletproof your knees. It really just isolates it, and it's now, it used to be my favorite squat. Now dragon squat is, but the pistol squat was.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, like any, let's say I weigh about like, I don't know, 170. I'm thinking in kilo, so around like 75 kilo, 80 kilo. The fact that you can take your entire body weight on that one leg in a stable manner and just having the ankle mobility to do so is such a big step, and it says so much about your body's ability. Now, sometimes you do see the issue, let's say with larger athletes, especially in the American football and rugby world. So this like 250-pound guy walks in and can't inherently do pull-ups or pistols yet. But even as a performance coach, I still try to go there, meaning instead of just saying, okay, let's just do pull downs because you can't do pull-ups, or let's just do Bulgarian lunges instead of pistols. I work towards mastering his body weight as well, because I feel and I see the value in the ability to hang and the ability to pistol, even if it's a half pistol. So I think the advice for everyone out there is work on mastering your body weight. It doesn't have to be in isolation. I mean, you don't only have to do calisthenics. You
Mhm.
don't only have to do gym. You can kind of combine them, but work on mastering these fundamental things like the push up, the pull up, the dip, the wall handstand, the pistol, or the dragon. It could be a combination of both, and you'll only be. Or I also like the L sit. I think is a great, functional core movement, really showing what your hips can do in that end range. Work on mastering those, and you can keep on lifting, keep on sprinting, keep on playing sports, and you'll see the carryover.
Yeah, and you can do this at home. You don't have to be at the gym. All these things you can do at home. And I think during lockdown, people were complaining, "Oh, the gym's closed. I'm not working out. I'm getting fat. I'm getting lazy." I'm like, no, like if you really want it, you can work out anywhere. And that was my mentality going in when lockdown happened.
I think the advantage of the gym is that it basically gives you a space to move where you're also like your movement class in the park. There's other people around you who are trying to achieve the same goal. And in order to work out at home, you have to have a higher level of motivation and accountability. Because even if you have a corner where like your yoga mat and your rings are, it's not inherently as easy as going to the gym, because once you're going to the gym or to your park or to your space, you're not going to not do anything. I already walked or jogged or ideally not, but drove to the gym. I'm going to work out. I'm not going to do anything. So I suggest to people is if you do have a movement space at home, it's sacred. Like if your porch and your balcony is where your toys are, when you go there, like free of distractions, don't be on your phone as much. Try to make that place your movement center in your head. So when you go there, you're motivated, and it's like this special ritual that you do.
I have a question. How do you get onto your barefoot journey?
Ooh, ooh. I was gonna fire back at how are you 44 years old and you're like insanely fit. What would be your advice to people? But I'll go first. So I got through my journey through injury as well. I was playing tackle football. I was wearing cleats that were half a size too small on me. I had dabbled in like I wore Vibrant Five Fingers, here and there. I used to play frisbee in the park barefoot, but I never really was gung ho like I am today. And I had trained, it was my second football season. I spent 8 months, weight training in the gym 4 times a week, sprinting and agility training twice a week, plyos, velocity training, vertical training. I was like at the peak of my athletic career. I came to our first game, like crushed it, like did amazing. Came to the second game, did amazing. And then in one of the practices, I sprained my ankle. And
Hmm.
funnily enough, so my cleat was half a size too small on me. It was super narrow, super rigid, and I was wearing very rigid insoles in them, which had like a little carbon return, which are supposed to like make you slightly faster. And I was ridiculously fast. Like I was the fastest person on the team, largely because of my training. There's no magic fix. I sprained my ankle, and then I tried to keep playing on it. So my ankle sprain turned into a quad tear, which turned into an LCL tear, and then I broke my rib, like unrelated. And I was like, I'm done with this. This doesn't make any sense. I spent 10 months, 8 to 10 months beating my like just busting my ass in the gym and on the field. And why am I injured? Why did I sprain my ankle? It doesn't make sense. So I came across the Foot Collective and I
Oh,
watched their
see,
seminar. Yeah. I watched their seminar. I'm like, whoa, this makes so much sense. So
literally, my mind went.
literally, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is it. Like, this is how this is. And keep in mind, I was always a performance coach. So it wasn't just me. It was like, oh, let me do this with my athletes. So I went, like, all my athletes started taking their shoes off. I switched to like those cheap like Chinese barefoot shoes, or I spent as much time barefoot as possible, and it slowly progressed to I'm no longer just like just some random dude who goes barefoot. I'm like a high level barefoot performance coach, the barefoot athlete, the barefoot cheer review. And it's just like, it's mind blowing how it's only this past year or two that performance coaches are waking up to the benefits of like training barefoot. So like, I understand the need to wear cleats right now. I mean, there's obviously minimalist cleats in the works, code footwear, natural athletics, but just warming up barefoot on the field is a huge plus. Training barefoot in the gym is a huge plus, and strong feet. And thank God, since that story, I've never gotten any lower body injury since. And I play like 11 sports a week. Like no sprained ankles, no knees, no hips. I used to sprain my ankle every day. Yeah.
Same.
And I see like I play ultimate frisbee 3 times a week at that like a high level competitively. And like you see every game someone sprains his ankle. Every game someone sprains it. And I'm playing barefoot normally, or I'm playing like minimal style cleats like Vivos. And you see these guys just like they're strong, resilient athletes, and their ankle just pops. And like I could play barefoot on the toughest terrain, and I'm fine. It just shows like it's a secret power, but it's not inaccessible. Just take your freaking shoes off.
I know. Same thing. If I wasn't injured at the time, I would never have been so accepting of it. And when I was doing my bouncing work, I saw someone bouncing on a rail. I had my shoes on, and I was like, "Oh God, this is so unstable." And then I literally came across the Foot Collective's page, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" All my life, people say, feet are gross. They should be in a shoe all the time. And when I saw the Foot Collective, since I was injured, I was like, "Whoa!" And my mind went like,
Boom,
"What? This makes perfect sense." And I know that phrase, the mind. Once the mind is stretched, it can't go back to its old dimensions or something like that.
Yeah, Doctor Strange level stuff. I like it.
And it's just, and literally down the rabbit hole I went. Of course, it makes sense. We're barefoot for millions of years. Like if you put your hand in a mitten for hours, it'll weaken.
Crap.
Your toe should move. And I started balancing with my feet, and I was like, "Whoa, it's more stable." And I started doing pistol squats barefoot, and then literally my whole mobility, my leg work just took off once I took off my shoes. So
yeah.
Similar story.
I can't even look at like one of my trainers who works for me. He coaches the people wearing sneakers. I can't look at him. Like it's like the sneakers don't belong in the gym. I mean, my gym that I own is like kind of like a barefoot center. Like everyone trains barefoot, everyone takes their shoes off. People come in minimalist footwear, but it's weird for me to see other coaches with like conventional sneakers. It just doesn't like fit. It just doesn't mesh together kind of vibe. But what's funny is that I took it like really far. So it kind of started out as, okay, I'm going to be wearing barefoot shoes or training barefoot. Then all my clients, I said, let's take our shoes off when we train. Then I started getting into minimalist footwear. That's like a very long, big train to hop on. Then when I started getting into minimalist footwear, I was like, how come there's no other coaches who talk about this? So I started putting a lot of like education out there. I made a barefoot transition course. I got involved with, I started doing podcasts with all like the foot gurus. And then I actually changed my Instagram handle from Sean Fit for Life to the Barefoot Athlete, because I literally identified with this. And then I started noticing other coaches like starting to speak at like Squat University and like Pierre's Elite Performance speaking about it. And then I took over the Barefoot Cheer Review, and now it turns into this like, my essence is the barefoot guy. Like when I walk in the street, they're like, oh, there's the barefoot guy. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I never thought of it. I never thought of it like that, because I just look at myself as a performance coach and an educator, but I was able to utilize barefoot to make it my niche. Like I'm the barefoot performance coach kind of vibe. And it completely changed my life. And ever since I've been going barefoot, I became a much more holistically connected person, a healthier person, a spiritually connected person. I think I've become a better human because of my barefoot journey. And I was actually on a podcast yesterday with Josh from Shama Sandals, and we were speaking about are holistically connected people naturally drawn to barefoot, or is it when they start going barefoot they become more holistically connected?
Oh,
cool, interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, by the way, both your pages are awesome. If you haven't, check out his page though. It's fantastic.
Well, if you want to see a guy doing a dragon into a lotus, into a figure four, into a pistol while holding a kettlebell, check this guy out. It's good stuff. Ren, my question to you. So you said you're 44 years old, right?
Yeah, I'll turn 45 in August.
Oh, August also. Yeah. When's your birthday? Remind me.
August 29.
Oh, so you're a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo.
Nice. See, my wife is as well. Anyways, so you're 45. I know a lot of 45-year-olds who don't really leave the couch. They're in terrible pain. Advice for starting out. Like what do I do? You know, I'm in pain. I can't really train. I don't have a gym membership. What would your 2 cents be?
I say just work on your flexibility and mobility. I think that has saved me down the road. Just learn the pancakes. Learn the pancake.
Mm,
They'll just like that. If one move for me, learning the pancake has been a game changer for me. Just learning that, and then, and just flexibility and mobility and your joint. Um, that's my biggest advice. That's helped
mm.
me. Yeah.
Okay, and so funny enough about the pancake, I really like it because a lot of the drills for the pancake you could actually do seated, like the seated hinge, driving the hips back.
Yeah.
So, or the pigeon stretch. So sometimes I'm like seated in a car or not driving, of course, or like sitting in a sauna and actually get some pancake drills in there as well. Like it's a very, very simple progression. Um, in addition to the pancake, what do you say is the first strength movement you would work on mastering for a beginner?
Strength, upper body, lower body, or doesn't matter.
Just like general like life essential that you just would say this is the first movement you should be working on mastering.
I say the pistol, just for me.
Mm, I agree. I
Just
think like yeah.
that's for me. It has the pistol squat for me is my biggest advice for any move. Just learn that, and you learn about your body, strengthen your legs, mobility of your legs, everything. You can do it at home.
Yeah,
I say the pistol squat.
it's a good party trick. It's may save your life one day. It's such a good test. I like adding in like some variation of hanging, which you've definitely
Oh,
mastered.
hanging,
Yeah.
hanging. Yes, I've heard about that.
Yeah. Are you working on a one-arm pull-up journey at all?
I am, and also the muscle up. But those
Amazing.
two things I'm working with my movement coach is
Mm.
eventually one arm
Is
pull-ups
it,
and the
yeah, a ring muscle up or bar muscle up?
ring.
Amazing. Yeah, so the ring muscle up actually has an easier learning curve
Yeah,
because if you're strong enough to do like those deep range dips, you can kind of like kip yourself up. Whereas the bar, your technique, you just have to get a much stronger
yeah,
kip to get over the bar. I love the ring muscle up. I actually worked with a calisthenics coach many years ago, and then we started working together as well. He taught me the handstand, the ring muscle up, front lever, back lever kind of progressions, and it was just so rewarding to try new things because I was lifting for so long, and all of a sudden like I'm on this handstand journey now. So in addition to like the weightlifting I do about 3 times a week, I'm handstanding about 4 times a week. And I recently got to like for my first time like a 20-second straddle handstand. And it's just so cool what the body can do.
yeah.
The body's just limitless. I did want to ask you, because you're doing the movement class and you're doing your calisthenics training and your dragon squats, and I'm sure you're doing some like athletic stuff as well, some jumps and pops and playing sports. What does your training split look like? Because people see you on Instagram, it's so easy to like get overwhelmed, like, oh, there's no way I can do that. What is realistic? Like, how do you get to there? Not necessarily the journey, but your day to day.
Well, so my movement class, the movement class is 4 times a week, but because of my work, I can only do two. So I do my movement classes on Mondays and Thursdays, and it's a combination of mobility, weightlifting, all that stuff. And then the other days, I do 2 times. I do a hit workout where it's like 10 exercises, a variety of things, 45 seconds each, 15-second rest, 5 rounds.
So twice a week movement class, twice a week hit workout.
Yeah, and then once a week heavy lifting like bench press, squats, deadlifts,
Mm.
and then I take a rest break every 3 days. I do a rest day.
Everything is your rest day. So when do you get your skills working? Like just the dragons and pistols.
In my hit workout.
Oh, so you're doing dragons like high intensity dragons.
Yeah,
Wow, Game of Thrones
yeah,
level stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
wow. So you have about 5 training sessions a week.
yeah.
And that's and what about do you play any sports? You still playing volleyball at all?
I don't play volleyball anymore, so no sports. And
Oh
I
man.
just started to run again. So today was my rest day. So I did some stretching and I ran 5 miles barefoot on the
Mm,
track.
hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, then that's my week normally. Yeah.
So I was gonna ask if you run barefoot. Is that like a recent thing that you're doing? Or have you been doing this for a while?
Well, I started to run in my Vibrams
Mm-hmm. Little
and
toe shoes.
also park. But then I think I noticed that even though the Vibrams are barefoot shoes, it still has a protection. So I'm still
Yeah.
slamming down hard.
Yeah.
And then so I started getting like shin splints and stuff. So I backed
Mm-hmm.
off. And then now next to my parents' house, there's a track also with fake grass.
Amazing.
So I run on the fake grass and on the track back and forth just a little bit, just because I don't think I can do 5 miles on the track just because I might get blisters yet. But I'm doing it on mostly on the the fake grass.
Mm. Yeah,
Realize
but
that
the
I
diff yeah, go ahead, go ahead, sorry.
no no I realize that my legs don't hurt as much. But I think with
So
fibers, I'm like pounding the ground.
yeah, yeah. So that's funny you say that because I think that the ultimate goal for runners should be able to run completely barefoot on most terrains. And the minimalist footwear running is not barefoot running, even if we want to pretend it is. The difference between 1 millimeter only, Vibrams I think are about like 3-4 millimeters, um, is that even though you're in a minimalist style shoe, you don't have the same proprioception as you do when you run completely barefoot. So your body literally, regardless of the sole thickness, obviously there's a difference between like a cushy Nike sneaker versus like a minimalist shoe. Your body still thinks there's more protection than there is. And especially if you've been running in sneakers for many years, the body automatic, even if you're not heel striking, your body kind of just defaults to that smashing the pavement, even if it's
Yes.
even if it's a correct forefoot or midfoot strike. And then the technique goes all wrong. The second you're barefoot, your body defaults to this absorb the force of your whole body as you're running. It's a game changer. So one of the best ways to
Oh,
adapt to running barefoot is just take your shoes off and run on like grass or like a softer surface and
yeah.
see how your body moves to that.
I can hike on the mountains for like 5 miles, no problem. But as soon as I think a month ago I started running barefoot on the track, I was like, ooh, okay, this is a little
Yeah.
too intense. So
Yeah.
I'm starting on the fake grass for now.
Yeah.
Just my gait, my gait's still kind of weird. I'm still getting used to that part. But five
Mhm.
miles on the fake grass today was pretty good for me. My longest yet today.
That's awesome. 5 miles, I would say, is like 8K. That's just, I never, I think as a fellow athlete, we can relate because I've played like so many football, rugby,
Yeah.
flag football. I never ran for the sake of running, besides in the military. I always just, I sprinted, I played sports. All of a sudden, because I'm on this barefoot journey, I've come to enjoy barefoot running. I don't bring a watch, I don't bring a phone. Yeah.
Like sometimes I walk to work barefoot. Even the hikes, it's just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's
You're more
all that
present.
sensation. It's more fun. I don't know. It's addicting. It's so
Yeah.
the feeling the ground and
Yeah.
the coordination, the foot and the brain. You're like navigating through the world, not get injured. Your body doesn't want to get injured, so every
Yeah.
step is like this. Okay, is this place is it safe? Is this safe? Rather than a shoe, you're just walking just to walk, and it's kind of like one point from A to B. You're not really feeling.
Yeah.
But barefoot, as soon as you take off those shoes, it's like this whole different
World.
magic world of just information.
It's like Aladdin, a whole new world.
Yeah.
So my take on I'm also a huge barefoot hiker. I think that both of us are in like this barefoot, running world, but we're actually not runners. It's kind of
No.
funny. Yeah, like I run, like I run the Jerusalem Marathon every year, 10K barefoot. This past one I did with a weighted stretcher. I'm a big advocate. I call it physical readiness 1000. So like I'll run a half with you barefoot. I'll hike with you barefoot. I'll play sports with you, frisbee, rugby, you name it. But I'm not a runner, and I think that people think barefoot people are always runners. If anything, I'm more of a barefoot hiker. But the divide is very big because barefoot hiking, even with weight, which I do about once a week, I go on like a ruck with like a weight vest, 50 pounds, or just like pop a kettlebell in my bag. Say it
Huh.
again. I missed
I
you.
should
What
start.
did you say? You
I should
should.
start doing weighted barefoot hikes.
It's
That's.
amazing. So I did it yesterday. Today's what day is it? Tuesday. I did it yesterday. So I was wearing a weight vest, and then because it's quite hot here, I have like like the like Middle Eastern style kafia. like the like Muslim head
Oh,
covering.
yeah.
So I have like my blue one that I wear. It's like my signature look when I'm hiking. And then I was also making a video about barefoot hiking. So I had like my little wireless mic. Then I realized that I was walking in the trail with a vest, a keffiyeh, and like wires poking out of my vest. And I was like, oh, I hope no one calls the cops on me. But anyways, that was just a funny vibe. No, so I think that barefoot hiking and barefoot running are intrinsically different because barefoot running is impact, like jumping up and down, bouncing. So especially if you're not used to barefoot running, your body has to absorb the force that all the time. Whereas barefoot hiking, like the natural progression of barefoot hiking is either incline, like terrain, or weight. And if you're built for it and resilient, it's amazing. I did like a 2 hour hike with it's 18 kilo, I don't know, it's maybe 40, 50 pounds with Charlie. And like, I was exhausted. Like I came back and like, it was awesome. Like definitely either buy a weight vest on Amazon or just like pop a kettlebell in your bag and it's just game changer. The
I
other
will
tip is,
try
yeah,
that.
also if hiking with your folks or someone who's, let's say, general fitness, physical readiness is not as high, so you can actually challenge yourself further in addition to being barefoot, which is always a challenge, by adding weight, and then you can pace them and it's still a challenge for you. So that's my usual,
Yeah,
whenever I hike, I just pop a kettlebell in.
that's awesome.
So we're gonna wrap up the episode. It's I'm so grateful and happy to have you here. We wanted to do this
Oh gosh,
forever.
Sean, we've been talking
Um,
for like years now. I'm so glad to
yeah,
finally, and also I
yeah,
need to visit Israel
absolutely.
again.
Come by. The hike
Yeah,
trails await you. I can guarantee you, like, you will go on like game-changing hikes here, like things you've never done in your life. So when you come to
it's
Israel, the door waits.
it's on. It's a
It's
deal.
on. And in about half a year's time, we're moving up to northern Israel and we're gonna have a guest room. So you and your boyfriend are always welcome and just come by, you know.
Okay, awesome.
Any last tips or things you want to share with our followers and the audience before we end today's episode?
Uh, yeah, just injuries suck, but
Make the
it's
best
a
of it.
gateway for other opportunities, and also try a barefoot hike. I know, just stop the dogma of what society tells you. Just go on a barefoot hike and just see what happens. Trust me, it's life changing.
Yeah, it might change your life. You never know. Okay. So thank you, Ren. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Thank you
So
so much for being on the
honor,
show.
honor to
Yeah.
be on your show.
Yeah, we're gonna get this up next week, and yeah, I'll see you. We'll speak over Instagram, and I'll see you next time.
Okay,
Will
bye.
do. Bye bye.